Hey guys, it's Memorizer92, and today I'm gonna cover Arcana Guide Part 2, which will include stats and engravings. Well, skills and gems are gonna be covered on the next video, and if you haven't watched Part 1, which covers playstyle and identity, please watch that one in advance. Then let's get started. Okay, so before I go for the stats, you guys have to know the two class engravings first. The one on the left is called Order of Emperor, and this one on the right is called Bless of Empress. And what this one does, one on the left, the Emperor does, is that at level 3, it allows you to increase the restoration of identity gauge whenever you use skills with yellow skills by 50%. So that means it will allow you to, draw more card from the deck. And also, it will increase the damage of the yellow skills by 30%. Now, what I mean by yellow skills are these skills that I mentioned in the last video. Yellow skills are normal skills, blue skills are stack skills, and red skills are the skills that removes the stacks and do lots of damage. So anyways, this engraving, the Order of Emperor, increases the damage of yellow skills. And there's one more feature that it does besides those two that I referred in advance. Well, you get an additional card into your deck called Emperor card. Now, if you click here, as I showed you guys in the last video, you can see all the cards, 12 cards right here, and there was one additional card that was blank, right? That was empty, like this one right here. And you can add this card when you have this engraving on, even at level 1. So let's go for it. If I adjust the engraving here, let's see. Let's go for level 3 of the Order of Emperor. And if I apply it, then it's no more empty. It's no more blank here, right? And what this does is that if you use it, then instantly it will do AoE damage to all the opponents that's around you. So let me show you how this works. So if you see down here, you can see that I have Emperor card in my hand, and if I press X key, then it will be activated immediately. And you can see I have lots of mobs right here, right? So let's see what happens if I press X key. So you can see that it does a decent amount of damage to all of the mobs that were nearby. And I'm gonna be honest, like using this card is really fun. Like whenever I draw this card from the deck, then what should I say? I feel like, yes, I have the Emperor card in my hand. You know that feeling, right? And mostly this card is used in Chaos Dungeon and on PvP. Not in the PvE like Legion Raid or kind of stuff. And there's a reason why the card is not used often in PvE. And the reason is because I'm gonna go over the precise explanation in the skill set part on the next video. But if I try to tell you roughly, it's not because of the Emperor card. I mean, Emperor card has nothing to do with it. It doesn't have any problem. The problem is because of the engraving, the Order of Emperor. If you see here, this engraving has 3 kinds of features, right? The problem lies in the second feature, the damage increase of the yellow skills. Well, most of the yellow skills are like they have a bad mechanism when it comes to DPSing, and there's another skill that does lots of damage in this build, the Order of Emperor, but that skill also has some kind of flaws. So I'm gonna cover profoundly about those skills on next video, as I told you guys before. So just for now, you guys have to know that it's really difficult to use this engraving. That's what you have to know for now. Then let's go over to the Bless of Empress. What this engraving does is that it increases the damage of red skills by 20% at level 1, 25% at level 2, and 30% at level 3. And also, it restores 30% of mana from the mana consumption of the red skills that you just used. So you get the point, right? Basically, Arcana is one of the classes that faces a lack of mana pretty easily. So this engraving really helps Arcana much. And most of the time, you wanna go for level 3 if you're trying to go for the Order of Emperor, because if you see here, the damage increase difference by level is huge. At level 1, it's 10% damage increase on yellow skills. At level 2, it's 20%. At level 3, it's 30%. So you wanna go definitely for level 3 for this engraving, but you wanna go level 1 for Bless of Empress, because if you see here, the difference of the increase is just 5%. Like you get 20% of damage increase on red skills at level 1, 25 at level 2, 30 at level 3, which means you get the highest efficiency of getting the damage buff at level 1. So instead of going level 3 of this engraving, most likely, like over 90% of Arcana players go for level 1 of this engraving, and they go for other engraving for level 2. If I try to wrap up the class engravings, you can see the difference between these two engravings, right? The Order of Emperor increases the damage of yellow skills, and it has a card called Emperor, right? While the Bless of Empress increases the damage of red skills. So you can see that playstyle is completely different for these two engravings. Then let's go over to the stats. The first one is stats from the Bless of Empress. Well, before going over this, you guys have to know this. For the build of Bless of Empress, there's already a best DPS build, and for that build, like most of the stats and engravings and skill sets are fixed. So you guys have to know this before we go into this. So if you see the stats for the Bless of Empress, this is the kind of fixed stat distribution you wanna go for, meaning the specialization and going for crit as a substat. So you can tell that specialization is really important to Arcana when it comes to PvE, since this engraving, the Bless of Empress, is the one that you most likely want to go for PvE. So let's see what specialization does for Arcana. Well, if you see here, specialization increases the damage of these red skills, and also it increases the restoration of gauge whenever you attack enemy with skills. And also it increases the damage of awakening, which is a common thing for all other classes when it comes to specialization. So the important part is the first part. It increases the damage of red skills, and you guys remember that this engraving, the Bless of Empress, raises the damage of red skills as well. So you can see that it synergies up well. And for the substat, you want to go for crit over swiftness. The reason behind here is because, well, some of the skills, the tripod from the skills already already increases the either movement or attack speed for Arcana, and these buff are also included in some of the cards, which means Arcana doesn't need that much movement speed or attack speed from the swiftness. Well, you might raise up the cooldown reduction that you can benefit from swiftness, right? But actually, Arcana doesn't need cooldown reduction from the swiftness as well, because for this build, the build from the Bless of Empress, if you see the skill set, like most of these skills are, they already have short cooldown, which means you would not get high benefit from raising swiftness. And also what happens is that if you raise swiftness as a substat, you will most likely face a lack of mana easier than before. So raising swiftness is more like nerfing Arcana rather than buffing it. Therefore, you want to go the substat for crit to increase the DPS of your red skills. Okay, let's go over to the engravings of the Bless of Empress. If you see the set here, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because like I told you guys before, you wanna go just level 1 for the class engraving. So here, I made it up as level 1, and for other level 2, I went for adrenaline, and adrenaline is really good for going for either level 1 or 2 or 3. And in Korea, adrenaline is considered as one of the broken engraving so far, because the the efficiency is really good when it comes to your investment. Like, you get 10% of crit rate and 4% of attack by just investing level 2. And we really value this much because if you think about other engravings like Grudge or Cursed Doll, like these engravings shows bad efficiency when it's in level 1 or 2, right? But for Adrenaline, like it shows you consistency. Like it gives you 5% at level 1, the crit rate, 10% at level 2, and 15% at level 3. So you know what I'm saying, right? Like Adrenaline is really a decent engraving in Lost Ark. Okay, I went over these two, then let's go over from the first one. Grudge, you want to go for this since it raises your damage by 20%, which is the highest in the common engravings. And Cursed Doll, well, this one's always compared to Keen Blunt Weapon, I told you before, right? If you see the skills from Arcana where the actual DPS comes from, the red skills, well, these two skills have crit rate tripod, the tripod which raises the crit rate. So it goes over like 60%, which is viable to use Keen Blunt Weapon. But for this skill right here, this one doesn't have any tripod that raises crit rate. So this one has like less than like 60 or 50%, which is considered as a low crit rate, and it will not get benefit from Keen Blunt Weapon that much. So because of this skill, you want to go for Cursed Doll instead of Keen Blunt Weapon. And Barricade. Okay, here's where the fun part starts. So you guys might think that Arcana doesn't look like a character that has shield, right? Like, it's slim, it's not like warriors from Shusire, right? And I thought like that as well from the first time. Like, when I saw Arcana using Barricade level 3, like, what kind of skills does Arcana have to, have a shield on its own? And you know what? This is how they use Barricade. So basically, these red skills are the actual DPS skills, right? What happens is that they spam the protection rune, which gives you the shield on the skill motion, and they spam it to all the red skills. So basically, all these 3 red skills have protection on. And the reason why Arcana can use protection rune on these DPS skills is because all of these 3 skills, they do damage before the motion ends. So let me show you, for example. If I use F skill, see the shield on the Arcana. It does damage before the shield ends. And if I use R skill, it's same. And if I do the E skill, so they all get benefit from the Barricade. And when I saw this for the first time, the logic behind this, like, it was really mind blowing to me. Like I really give mad respect to the guy who discovered this for the first time. And next one is Hitmaster. Well, Hitmaster benefits skills that doesn't have either head or back attack, right? But for Arcana, except for R skill, like this one, E skill has head attack and F skill has back attack, which means like R skill is the only one that benefits from Hitmaster. So you guys might think that then what's the point of using this skill? Well, the logic behind here is that, do you guys remember in last video, part 1, that when you stack the stacks onto the mob and use the rest skills, then it does double damage like this. See, there's 2 damage right here, right? The one that did less is the original damage from the skill, and the one that did higher damage is the damage that came from by removing the stacks, which is the actual damage that most of the DPS comes from for Arcana. So the one that's higher is all that matters, and for that higher damage, that damage is considered as not having any type, like it's not even hit or back attack type, even though that skill might have it. So you got the point, right? That's why higher damage can benefit from the hitmaster. So that's all it comes down to. So I'm gonna show you an experiment of showing you the damage. One with having the hitmaster and the other one with not having the hitmaster. So first one with the hitmaster, I'm gonna use F skill with full stack. If I use F skill, see the higher damage. It did 3.2 million, right? Okay, and this time I'm gonna remove the hitmaster and then use the skill and see what happens. By the way, F skill is a back attack. It did 2.8, which is remarkable, right? And by the way, did you guys see the damage that did less for the both of the experiment? If you try to rewind it, they both did 120,000, and which means they did same, right? That's because that less damage is the damage that is counted as back attack, which doesn't get any benefit from either having or removing the hitmaster. And there's one more thing that I want to tell you guys about adrenaline. It's that, well, normally you can stack adrenaline by using skills, right? But for Arcana, not only the skills, but also if you use the card, like either pressing Z key or X key, you can also stack up the adrenaline. Watch. If I press Z and use this card, it stacks. If I use X, it's now 2 stacks. So this engraving set is the one you want to go for the Bless of Empress. And by the way, even though these two engravings are splitted, it's considered as 5 of level 3, because if you add it, then it becomes level 3. So before you hit 14, 15, and you want to go for 2 of level 3, then first one, you obviously want to go for level 2 Adrenaline and the level 1 Bless of Empress, since these two are paired up as one level 3. And for the other one, you can go anything. Well, the best one is Grudge, since it gives you the highest damage bonus, 20%. But if you're afraid of the penalty, then you can pick either one from these three, because these three gives you like same percent of damage. These two gives 16% of damage, and this one gives you 16% of attack. And in Lost Ark, attack and damage is very similar. Like there's not much difference. So you can like freely pick any engraving from either three. And if you're going for 3 level 3, then I told you like pair of these two are default, right? So for other two, like you can just pick either 2 out of 4 engravings here. So you get the point of building the engraving for Arcana set, right? This is how it works. Okay, then let's go for the Order of Emperor. If you see the stat, the substat is crit, which is same as the Bless of Empress. But if you see the main stats, it goes for swiftness instead of the specialization, because if you remember, what this engraving does is that it increases the damage of the yellow skills, right? Not the red skills, which means red skills are not the main skills that does the DPS. So you don't need any specialization, since specialization raises the damage of red skills. Instead, you wanna pour the stats all into the swiftness to reduce the cooldown of the skills as much as you can to cycle the skills faster. Okay, then let's go over to the engravings. So you wanna go for Grudge level 3 and Order of Emperor level 3, which both raises the damage by a lot. So these two are like they don't have any doubt. So we're gonna start from here, the Raid Captain. So the reason going for Raid Captain for the Order of Emperor is that first, the stat you're maining is swiftness, But if you see here, even you max out the swiftness at 1800, like you just get 30% of movement speed, which means you can't get the max efficiency from the raid captain, which is 140% of movement speed, right? But you can fill up other 10% or more of the movement speed from your skills and from the cars. If you see here, this skill right here, if you use this skill, then it gives you at least 20% of movement speed for 3 seconds, which is huge. So if you use it like this, it gives you movement speed like this. And if this skill on F skill, this one also gives you movement speed by 20%, same for 3 seconds. Yep, this is how it works for the skills. And for the cards, remember that last time I told you that there's a card that increases your movement speed, the ghost card. And yeah, there's one right here. Like if you use this card, then it also increases your movement speed. So the point is, there are lots of factors that can, max out your movement speed to get the highest benefit from the raid captain. The next one is adrenaline, and simply the reason going for adrenaline is because it raises crit rate, which raises the DPS for the Emperor Arcana, and also for Arcana, it's really easy to trigger, a stack the stacks of adrenaline, which is the same reason why the Bless of Empress Arcana also goes for the adrenaline. The last engraving is all-out attack. As an Order of Emperor Arcana, there's only one skill that can benefit from the all-out attack. But the reason why using this engraving, even the fact that it just has only one skill, is that this single skill, has like 50% of DPS as an Order of Emperor Arcana without any lie. So let's see what this skill is. It's this skill, holding skill. As you can see, it throws lots of cards, and at the end, it throws one large card. So the logic is like this. Whenever you throw the cards at the beginning, your damage for this skill starts to grow up. And for the last large card, it will have all the damage, concentrated. So which means if you miss the last shot, that means you will lose your half of DPS, which is devastating. So since this skill has lots of damage and also it's a holding skill that lasts for a long time, you want to go for this all-out attack to increase the skill of this damage, and at the same time it also increases the casting speed by 20%, which is huge for this skill. So before you reach 14-15, if you want to go for like 2 of level 3 engraving, then the first one is obviously gonna be the class engraving right here. And second one, the best option is Grudge, but if you want to go for another one, then that will be Adrenaline, because before you reach 14-15, you will not have enough stats, which means you will have like less crit as well, right? So Adrenaline is a good option to raise your crit easily, and it will make you stronger as well. And if you want to go for 3 of level 3, then first one is you want to go for the class engraving, and for other 2, you can just pick either 2 from these 3: Adrenaline, Raid Captain, and Grudge. And if you want to go for 4 of level 3, then just go for all these 4 right here on the upper side. Because for all-out attack, it just increases 1 skill, right? So you want to go this option as the last option. Well guys, that's all for today, and hope you guys liked my video. And if you did, please hit the subscribe, which will really help me a lot. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.